Somewhere tonight, a dog is sleeping beside its owner, breathing softly, moving its paws through a dream no human being can ever fully translate from outside. We look at animals every day and assume we understand them. Hungry, loyal, afraid, playful. Simple creatures guided by instinct, training, habit, and routine. But behind those quiet eyes, there may be something far deeper than instinct. A private world, silent, invisible, and hidden inside another living body. Not just a brain reacting to sound, hunger, danger, or touch, but a mind experiencing reality from the inside, moment by moment without human words. And that creates one of the strangest questions in science. Do animals know they exist, or do they only move through life unconsciously, like shadows? Because if they know, then the distance between humans and animals is far smaller, far more fragile, than we once dared to believe. The question changes everything. In 1970, psychologist Gordon Gallup Jr. designed an experiment that became legendary in animal psychology and deeply uncomfortable for philosophy and human pride. It still shapes debates today. It was called the mirror test, and it tried to answer one disturbing question. Can an animal recognize itself as itself in a reflected image? A small mark is placed on the animal's body, somewhere it cannot see directly, only through its own reflection in a mirror, while awake. Then the animal is placed before that mirror, and researchers watch for a moment of understanding, not just a reaction but recognition of the self. Most animals react as if the reflection is another creature. They threaten it, avoid it, investigate it, or eventually lose interest completely, seemingly confused. But a few animals do something different. They look at the mirror, pause, and then touch the mark on their own body with intention. That small movement suggests a massive realization. The creature in the glass is not a stranger, not a rival, not another animal. It is me. Great apes, dolphins, orcas, elephants, and even Eurasian magpies have shown signs of passing this test, forcing scientists to rethink intelligence and awareness. But dogs, cats, many mammals, and even human babies during their earliest years often fail, at least when the test is visual and mirror-based. At first, that seems to divide nature into two groups, animals with self-awareness and animals without it. But reality is not that clean. The mirror test may have a serious flaw. It assumes every creature understands itself mainly through sight, instead of through its own reality and senses. A dog does not live in a world of mirrors, faces, and visual identity. A dog lives inside a universe built from scent. That changes the test. For a dog, identity may not be found in a face, a reflection, or a body shape. It may be found in smell, not necessarily in appearance. In 2017, researcher Alexandra Horowitz explored this idea with a scent-based version of the mirror test design specifically for the sensory world of dogs. Dogs were given their own scent, another dog's scent, and their own scent altered in a noticeable, unfamiliar way, then allowed to investigate. They spent more time investigating the altered version of themselves, as if something personal had changed and needed to be examined more carefully. So maybe dogs do recognize themselves. They simply do not search for the self in glass, because glass is not their language. It used another channel. But recognizing yourself is only the first door. The deeper question is whether animals know that they know, and notice their own uncertainty. That is more difficult. This is called metacognition. The ability to observe your own thoughts, measure your own uncertainty, and monitor your mind from within. You are doing it right now. You are not only hearing these words. You know that you are hearing them in this moment. That is the strange loop. For years, scientists wondered whether any non-human animal could perform that same invisible act, that quiet turning of the mind toward itself. Then studies with Rhesus monkeys revealed something extraordinary. When uncertain, they often chose safer tasks instead of risking failure on harder tests. When confident, they accepted harder challenges for better rewards. They seemed to be judging the strength of their own knowledge before answering. Similar patterns have appeared in rats, pigeons, and dolphins, showing hesitation, uncertainty, and self-evaluation before making choices under pressure. This does not mean animals think like humans or ask human questions, but it suggests their minds are not empty biological machines. not in the human way. They may know when they know something, and more surprisingly, they may know when they do not know something at all. That alone is remarkable. Still, science reaches a wall. We can observe behavior, brain activity, choices, and reactions, but we cannot enter another mind. That boundary remains stubborn. Philosophers call inner experience Qualia, the private feeling of pain, color, fear, memory, warmth, hunger, or simply being alive. No instrument can fully capture it. In 1974, philosopher Thomas Nagel asked a question that still haunts consciousness studies today. What is it like to be a bat? The question is still alive. A bat builds reality through echoes, sensing the world through waves of sound returning through the dark from objects it never touches. Its reality is alien to ours. We can study its brain, record its calls, track its movement, and model its flight with extraordinary precision, but not its subjectivity. The map is not the feeling. We can never truly feel what the world is like from inside a bat, because its experience is not ours to enter. Its inner world stays private. That is the mystery. Animal minds may surround us every day, locked behind forms of experience we cannot imagine or translate. In 2012, neuroscientists signed the Cambridge Declaration on Consciousness, arguing that humans are not neurologically unique among conscious creatures. Many mammals and birds appear to have brain systems capable of supporting conscious states, emotions, memory, attention, and awareness. That matters more than reflex. In other words, consciousness may not be a human crown. It may be an ancient flame shared across life, older than our species. Not a sudden human miracle. And perhaps the strongest evidence is not intelligence, not language, not mirrors, but grief, the behavior that makes instinct feel insufficient. It resists simple explanations. In 2018, an orca named Tahlequah lost her newborn calf shortly after birth, and what followed stunned researchers around the world. The behavior looked painfully familiar. For 17 days, she carried the body through the ocean, refusing to let it sink away into the deep, as her pod stayed near. There was no obvious reward, no food, no protection, no survival advantage, only attachment continuing after death, except emotion, memory, or loss. Only a mother carrying what was gone, as if absence itself had become unbearable and the ocean could not take it. Held against the sea. So do animals know they exist? The honest answer is still unfinished, but the wall between us keeps getting lower. Some recognize themselves. Some measure uncertainty. Some mourn. Some remember. Some seem to understand others in ways we are only beginning to notice. The pattern keeps returning. Maybe the world is filled with minds we underestimated only because they could not speak our language. Maybe silence was never emptiness.